A picture-perfect couple in a whirlwind romance.
They never left each other's side.
A beautiful model and ballerina who has finally found her Romeo.
We just instantly clicked.
But behind closed doors, trouble is brewing.
There was a 30-year age gap between the two of them. They knew each other 13 days, and they got married.
Rumors of abuse begin to swirl.
Just between you and me, the son of a has been harassing him and threatening him for a long time.
I was obsessed with her.
It's like I was living in this nightmare.
She says she feared for her life, but that may just be her side of the story.
She would take matters into her own hands.
This was a custody battle that this mother was going to win at all costs. And the cost was the life of Doug Benefield.
A once pretty picture shattered.
He was cool to the touch.
When a trigger is pulled.
The way he was looking at me, it didn't even look like Doug. His eyes were black.
Manner of death, I determined to be homicide.
The trial becomes a circus.
I just testified, and y'all don't know what it's like to have to testify in your dad's murder trial and know that your crush is watching you back home on TV.
But will the truth ever come to light?
There's only one person who knows what happened in that house that is still alive. And that's Ashley Benefield.
In this tragic story, it's not a question of who done it. It's a question of why. This is Crimes of Passion by Law&Crime. I'm Sierra Gillespie. It's September 27th, 2020 in Bradenton, Manatee County, Florida. A different time in many senses. Just months after Florida's first COVID case, the state pivots toward reopening as the governor lifts nearly all restrictions and returns businesses to full capacity. But in the wake of this major shift comes another, this time with a much more permanent ending.
He said, "You're done." I thought he was gonna kill me.
It was a domestic. She shot her husband.
Douglas Glass Benefield was born on October 2nd, 1961 in Palo Alto, California, but he spent most of his childhood in the South. At Huntsville High School in Alabama, Doug wrestled on varsity all 4 years, and at one point was even a top 10 wrestler in the state. After graduating in 1980, he made his way to Texas A&M University to study biology. There, he rushed Beta Theta Pi, which at the time was known as the Aggie Cowboys fraternity. Following his graduation in 1984, Doug joined the Navy. He studied to become a naval flight officer, later serving for years in both San Diego, California, and Charleston, South Carolina, before finally retiring in 1999. It was during his time in Charleston when Doug met a woman named Renee. Renee had 2 sons, Benjamin and John, from a previous marriage, but she was ready to start another family. So when Doug popped the question, she said yes immediately. They were married on December 25th, 1999. And 2 years later, on April 7th, 2001, their daughter Eva was born. And for a while, they seemed like a happy family. Here's Doug's cousin, Tommy Benefield Jr.
The house for multiple years was Doug, his longtime wife Renee, and their daughter Eva.
That was until December 2nd, 2015, when tragedy struck.
She died of a undiagnosed heart ailment, cardiac arrest.
Renee's death at only 56 years old came as a complete shock to the family. Friends and loved ones sent words of support, posting to her obituary page. But the well-wishes couldn't quell the grief the Benefields shared. Daughter Eva was only 14 at the time and had to grapple with a major shift. But it wouldn't be long before a new woman was in the picture.
Ashley Christina Benefield.
Born Ashley Christina Byers on December 5th, 1991 in Corpus Christi, Texas. Like Doug, Ashley moved from her birth state early on and spent most of her childhood in Annapolis, Maryland. Also like Doug, Ashley's father was a Naval Academy graduate and worked as a Navy pilot for a time before beginning to fly private. During her early years, Ashley's mother stayed at home with her, instilling meaningful values in her only daughter's life.
Believe in the importance of kindness and compassion, empathy, honesty, hard work, accountability.
Ashley's parents were supportive and encouraged her to find what she loved, and that turned out to be the arts.
I love art. like drawing, painting, sculpting, ballet.
Ballet. That was Ashley's first and deepest love. She began dancing at a young age, even attending a small private Christian high school to pursue her craft.
I danced full time. I actually finished my last few credits my senior year with an accredited homeschool program for athletes, so I could dance during the day.
But in her early 20s, Ashley suffered a career-ending injury. She tore her hamstring, and that forced her into retirement. But it was soon thereafter she found something else to occupy her time.
He was very confident in who he was, passionate about what he was doing for work. He was fascinating to talk to.
It's now August 25th, 2016 in Palm Beach, Florida. Doug and Ashley meet for the very first time. Here's Doug's cousin Tommy again.
Ashley and Doug told me about how they met the first night at a political meeting, how Ashley had reached out to him before that meeting. They showed me text messages between them for the 10 days between the first meeting and her second meeting with him up in Charleston, Mount Pleasant. They talked about how they had mutual interests, mutual alignment, how they were looking for the same thing in a relationship. They talked about, Ashley talked specifically about her fibromyalgia and pain associated with her ballet dancing days.
What was it, if you recall in particular, that attracted you to him, Ashley?
He was funny, very smart, charming. We just instantly clicked.
And things progressed quickly.
It was about 4 days after we met that he told me he loved me.
Did any significant event follow after he expressed his love for you?
He flew me to South Carolina, where he was living at the time, and asked me to marry him, and I said yes.
You remember the date?
September 7th, 2016.
How old was he at the time on September 7th, 2016?
54.
And how old were you?
24.
It's no secret their relationship is a May-December romance, and that isn't without its challenges.
Doug hadn't told his daughter Eva that we had gotten married, and so when she found out, she was really upset. Just understandable. Her mom had suddenly passed 8 or 9 months before, and I was a complete stranger to her. Now I'm moving into her house.
Here's Doug's daughter, Eva Benefield.
When did you first find out about someone named Ashley Benefield?
It was August of 2016, about 9 months after my mom passed.
Okay. And how did you find out about her?
My dad was on the phone when he picked me up from school, and he had his phone on speaker, and they mentioned him having a girlfriend, and if he was going to bring his girlfriend to a conference that they had that weekend.
And was that the first time you had any information that there might have been a girlfriend?
Yes.
How old were you at the time?
I was 15.
At the time, were you upset with him about that?
No. I just told him that I trusted him, and if that's what made him happy, that I would be happy for him.
And about how long after that did you find out they were married?
It was 2 days after.
And how did you find out that they were married?
My dad came up into my room, and he said, "Eva, we need to have a chat downstairs with Ashley." She was at the house at the time, and I said, I don't think we need to. I understand that you're dating her and you're happy, but please just, give me my space a little bit. I don't want to have a conversation." And he said, "No, I think it's really important we do." And I said, "The only time that I would want to have a conversation with y'all is if you told me that you were going to propose." And when those words came out of my mouth, he told me that they were married.
For Eva, the problems arose quickly.
Whenever she had a disagreement with you, how would she act?
It was almost temper tantrum-like. She would go directly to my dad and tell him that I wasn't obeying.
Okay. And Did her reactions to you seem to be on the level of the situation, or did she get more angry at the situation?
Usually they were overreactions over small things.
Ashley felt differently.
At first, he had told me that she was really going to love me and that she was ready to have a woman in her life and that he wanted me to move in quickly because she needed a mom. So he made it sound like she also felt that way.
And you had no feelings of your own?
Oh, I was excited to get to be her stepmom.
And wasn't it true that you had a problem with Eva and you thought she was disrespecting you at that time?
I wouldn't say I had a problem with Eva. There was a lot of tension in the house, but yeah, there's a lot of things going on that were not ideal.
You knew she was 15.
Yeah.
And you knew she had just lost her mother tragically to death.
Yeah.
And you were how much older than her?
10 years, 9 years, 10 years.
For Christmas that year, Ashley gives Eva a shadow box.
It was like a small picture that had like deep sides and like the glass was at the front of it. And there was a sand dollar that I had painted and decorated.
As Ashley recounts this story, Eva storms out of the courtroom.
A saying on it that said something about how like you can be strong through the storms and that, you know, seashells are beautiful things that come out of storms. Eva had taken it apart and I guess had thrown out the thing that I made and was using the picture frame for something else.
What was she using the picture frame for?
She had put a rose from her mom's funeral in it.
And that upset you pretty badly, didn't it?
It made me really sad. I'd taken a lot of time to make it for her, and I thought it was special. And yeah.
You began crying.
Yes.
And you dropped to the floor and sobbed hysterically.
Probably.
You were so upset that she put her dead mother's rose in the shadow box.
It wasn't that. It was that she took it apart. I mean, I would have bought her another shadow box.
From Eva's point of view, Ashley and Doug are inseparable.
How was their relationship together that you saw?
They were just with each other all the time. It was very lovey-dovey. They were very touchy-feely, PDA. Any event with school or extracurricular that I was in, they were together. They'd go grocery shopping together, go travel together. They never left each other's side.
And early on, Ashley says the same thing.
He was very loving and attentive. He was always with me. We did everything together. We laughed a lot. And he made me feel very special and loved. He always was looking for ways to be with me and to do things for me.
The couple is still in their honeymoon phase, and wanting to spend more time together, they book a cruise. While there, Doug sends Ashley these messages.
Last night, just the jerks arguing near you about put me in sheer murderous mood, but I was stuck. I couldn't defend you. But could have been a fight, etc. Only you being with me will over time remove the images in my head. It is same, and knowing you were taken advantage of still in my mind makes me explode with anger to take them out. God made you for me. You haven't seen the warrior side and never want to. We went from joy and passion to now I'm in a testosterone rage inside.
You know, at the time, I kind of tried to write it off that he was my new husband and he was just trying to be kind of manly and, you know, be protective and, you know, was trying to show that he really loved me.
Ashley, how long did this facade that you've described of Doug's last?
Probably about 3 months.
And what signs did you begin to see that he was not who you thought he was?
When I got back from the cruise, he started becoming very, controlling and possessive. He started criticizing everything about me, like the way I would wear my hair, or did my makeup, or the way I dressed. I found myself trying to change everything about me to make him happy.
But despite the hiccups, Ashley and Doug pursue her lifelong dream of opening a ballet company. According to Doug's cousin Tommy, it's funded by several $1 million, and the couple employs about 40 dancers.
Doug and Ashley talked about it on the first night I met her, about how they founded the ballet, how Doug did the online limited liability corporation work, founded the name, resurrected that name, how they worked together to try to build a ballet that was diverse and open to more than one body size, body shape, body color. That was the philosophy of the ballet as they explained it. That was Ashley's dream.
In July 2017, Ashley learns she's pregnant. Around the same time, Ashley says she begins to notice changes in Doug.
I was always walking on eggshells, trying to do the right things. Because if I said the wrong thing, he would get mad at me. And so I always tried to do it right. If I wore the wrong thing, he would call me or a I feel like I couldn't do anything right. He would call it a fit of rage. Sometimes it was as simple as him just yelling and screaming at me or cussing at me, calling me names. Other times he would throw things or break things or smash things. He would come at me like he was going to hit me. He told me I was lucky that he punched walls instead of me.
Ashley calls it abuse. On one occasion, she says he punches the dog. On another occasion, she claims he punches a hole in the wall before shooting a gun off in the kitchen.
We were having an argument, and it started getting really out of hand. He pulled a gun out, and he was like waving it around. And then he threw it at me, and it hit the wall behind me, punched a hole in the wall. And when I went to run to try to leave, he pulled the gun out and held it to his head. He said that he was gonna blow his brains out, and I was gonna have to watch him. And he pulled the trigger and he shot a hole in the ceiling in the kitchen.
Prosecutors will later point out Doug never hit Ashley.
Doug Benefield never punched you, ever. Correct?
Yeah, I'd say that's correct.
Doug Benefield never choked you, ever.
No.
He never kicked you.
No.
He never pointed a gun at you.
He waved a gun in my direction.
But it was not pointed at you, correct?
It was pointed at me while he was waving it at me.
He never came at you with a knife.
No.
Or a club.
No.
Or a baseball bat.
No.
But Ashley says she had to get out.
How did you feel about your personal safety when you left Doug?
I was scared.
What was it that made you uncomfortable?
It was a lot of things. It was the things that he'd done, like punching our dog and shooting the gun and different things he would say and do.
And were you afraid for just you?
I was pregnant at the time. I was scared for the baby.
While pregnant with their daughter, Ashley moves to Florida to live with her mother, Alicia Byers. And soon, the legal battle begins. Doug hires attorney Stephanie Murphy in hopes of having contact with his future daughter.
Initially, the purpose of hiring me was to draft a letter to Ashley Benefield, who was pregnant with their child at the time, which I did. I drafted a letter and sent it the day after I was retained. The purpose of the letter was to open the door for discussion about Doug's participation in the upcoming birth of their child, but also to advise that if she did not feel comfortable with him being present at the birth, he was respecting her need for space. I did not receive a response directly from Ms. Benefield. She checked herself into Tampa General the next day to start induction. Well, the child was born early. She was born on March 19th, I believe, is when she was finally born.
And you said early. How many weeks early was that?
Well, the child was originally scheduled, or her due date was April 8th. So I think...
Sustained.
Okay. So you said you never received a response.
Not from Ms. Benefield.
From Ms. Benefield about the letter.
Correct.
And to your knowledge, did Doug ever receive a response to that letter?
To my knowledge, he did not receive any response from Ms. Benefield or anyone on her behalf.
Okay. And I think you might have said this, but the child was born on what day?
She was born on the 19th of March.
Okay. And at the time the child was born, did you or Doug know that the child was born?
No, gosh, we didn't know for a good 5 or 6 weeks after she was born.
Okay. And how did you find out that the child was born?
I actually found out because I had been monitoring the docket for Manatee County court system, just because there had been no response. And so on May 6th, I saw that Ms. Benefield had filed a petition for protection against domestic violence on, I think it was April 23rd. So about 2 weeks prior to me finding out, she had filed the petition. And in that filing, there was, she identified the birth date of the child, as well as I think the child's name, which is the first time we learned about that too.
And then comes the back and forth. Ashley continues to file orders, hoping to keep Doug at bay.
I filed for a domestic violence injunction here in Florida.
What was the result?
It was denied.
She even alleges that Doug is poisoning her.
You get a package that you say was in violation of this injunction. And it's a birthday present, right?
Yes.
It's a tea set.
Among other things, yes, ma'am.
And you liked tea.
I like drinking tea, yes, ma'am.
You drank tea all the time with Doug?
Yes.
Okay. And you opened this tea and you claim that it smelled so strongly that you automatically rushed it to the sheriff's office.
I didn't specifically sniff the tea. It was when I opened the box, the whole, contents had a very strong chemical smell.
So after this time goes by, you take it to the sheriff's office and you claim that this was a violation of injunction, right?
It was, yes, ma'am.
And you also claim that this was all part of Doug's poisoning scheme to poison you and your unborn child.
Hazmat informed me that there was toxic chemicals.
I don't want to hear what someone else told you. I want to hear what you claimed, that this was part of his poisoning of you. Plan to poison.
Based off of what I was told, that was the conclusion I came to.
Ma'am? Yes or no? What, according to the way you felt, this gift was a part of his plan to poison you.
It concerned me, yes, ma'am.
But a Florida judge rebukes all this.
The wife has at this time demonstrated a complete disregard for allowing Mr. Benefield to have any active role in the birth of his child and or the life of his child that he has now not had any contact with. So with that in mind, the court is going to find that at this time there is absolutely no evidence, and I'm saying no evidence. I'm not saying by the preponderance of the evidence standard, that hasn't even been close to that there's been a indication that there's an immediate likelihood of domestic violence. There's only the one remote incident, and as of today, there's no reasonably prudent or logical person would think that you're the threat, that you're being threatened by immediate domestic violence. So for those reasons, the court is going to deny the request for an injunction in this particular case.
But for a moment, it seems like there's a chance for reconciliation. Together, they go to dinner and lunch, the movies, the beach, all places a happy family would visit together. But there's two sides to every story. Here's psychologist Dr. Brad Broder.
Did Doug express in front of Ashley that his hopes that moving forward this was going to be an attempt at reconciliation? Did he express that in front of Ashley?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Did Ashley ever correct him and say, whoa, wait a minute. No, we're not doing that.
Not really. I think the closest she ever got to that was to kind of say, just kind of slow it down and, we'll talk about that later. And that's, that kind of thing. She would kind of deflect attention away from that.
In reality, Ashley's planning to move back to Maryland. Doug plans on moving too, but he thinks they're getting back together. Ashley has a different plan. Here's prosecutor Suzanne O'Donnell.
The problem was Ashley Benefield knew that this was a ruse. She didn't intend to reconcile. She didn't intend to try to make this work. And the problem was there was a court hearing on September 30th of 2020. And at that court hearing, all of this was going to come out. It was going to come out that she was acting one way when she was by herself, and she was acting another way when she was with Doug Benefield. That she was telling him she wanted to work on things, that she wanted to get this marriage back together. But yet, when separate, she was saying she had absolutely no intention of reconciling, did not want him around, and did not want this to work.
So on September 27th, 2020, Doug heads to Ashley's house to help pack. Doug arrives just as Ashley's mother, Alicia, takes their daughter, Emerson, to the park to play. That's what both sides agree on. But here's where a major shift comes. The defense will argue that Doug and Ashley begin to fight about what order to load the boxes into the U-Haul. They say Doug becomes threatening to Ashley, abusive even, hitting her with moving boxes multiple times. The prosecution, however, will argue this was all part of Ashley's plan to get Doug alone and kill him, all in an effort to gain full custody.
That this was a custody battle, that this mother was going to win at all costs. And the cost was the life of Doug Benefield.
But Ashley claims self-defense.
Started getting into a back and forth about being done for the day and what still needed to be packed and that I wanted to be done. And we ended up in our daughter's bedroom and he started screaming at me. He said, "Shut the f*** up." He started calling me names. And he said, "I can see what you're doing. You're trying to get me to leave." He said, "I don't have to leave. I can stay and spend the night if I want to because I'm your husband."
At that point, Ashley, how did you feel with respect to your own personal safety?
I was scared. I ran to try to leave the house.
And where did you run to?
To the front door.
Did you make it?
No.
Tell us what happened.
He stopped me. He grabbed me by the hand and he yanked me back. I'm not really sure how he did it, but he spun around so he was in front of me, between me and the door.
So
he said,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
He said, "Where the f*** do you think you're going?"
What was your response? Do you specifically recall? Tell us.
I just blurted it out. I said, "I'm done and you need to leave now."
What was Doug's reaction to that command to leave now?
He said, "You can't f***ing leave me."
Then what happens?
He hit me on the side of the head. I ran.
Where?
To my room.
Why?
Because I was scared.
Ashley, did you have anything in your room that could protect you?
I had my gun.
Did you grab the gun?
Yes.
As you're grabbing the gun, what, if anything, did you hear?
I heard the door hitting the doorstop.
As if it is flung open?
Yes.
And what do you see, Ashley, when you look up?
Doug was standing in the doorway. His face was red. Like the veins were bulging in his neck. The way he was looking at me, it didn't even look like Doug.
His eyes were black.
Does he yell anything at you?
He said, "You're done." I just held the gun like in front of me, and I said, "Stop." And he like turned and he got into this like a fighting stance. I got low and he started like moving his arms and his hands around. He was making these like jerking motions.
What were you expecting when you were holding the gun out in front of you and you told him to stop?
I thought when he saw it, he would leave.
Did he?
No.
At that point, Ashley, what are you thinking?
I thought he was gonna kill me.
Tell us what happens next.
He started coming towards me, and then he lunged at me, and I started pulling the trigger. And he just kept coming. And I remember trying to move to get away from him, but he kept coming at me. It was like his feet slipped out from under him, and his legs went up in the air.
When Doug hits the floor, what's your immediate reaction?
I ran to get help.
Can you tell us how many shots you fired?
I have no idea. I was in a panic.
So Ashley runs out the front door, heading for the home of John Sant, her neighbor.
As soon as I opened the door, before I could say anything, she said, "He attacked me."
And is that all she said?
At that point, I said, "Who?" And he said, "Doug. He attacked me, and I shot him." I said, "Well, then you better come in." And I moved to the left to let her in, and that's when I noticed the line there on the ground.
Okay. And what was it?
It was a handgun. Once I brought the weapon in, I shut the door and locked it. And I looked at her and I said, "What condition is Doug in?" And she said, "I don't know." Or she said, "Don't know." She said, "Just don't know." I said, "Where's your mother in Emerson?" And she said, "At the park."
That's when this chilling 911 call is made.
She's with me now, quite upset. The weapon is here. We need the police before her mother and the little girl gets back from the park. I don't want them to find this.
Yeah.
You want me to go over and look at anything, or just wait for the police?
No, I want you to just wait for the police, okay?
All right, if you could just get them here quick.
Okay, so they were in an argument?
I don't know. She came in. She was quite hysterical. I didn't know who was banging on my door. Said that he attacked her, and she shot him. They've been having trouble, so it just had to happen, honey. I know.
Ashley is so hysterical, she can't even provide her phone number.
What's the female's phone number?
I don't know. I'd have to ask her if she can try. I don't know it off.
Can I get her on the phone for a second? I can ask her myself if you need.
Can you talk to her for a minute?
I can.
No.
I just need her phone. I just need her phone number. I'm not asking her any questions.
All she needs is your phone number. Huh? It was 941. Okay, hold on.
Now, the deputies want her to go outside with her hands up, nothing in them. Okay?
You want her to go out?
Yes, they want her to come out with not...
Out of my house?
Yes.
Ashley walks outside and is met by first responders.
Just she was visibly upset.
Was she saying anything when she exited the home?
No, ma'am.
What happened to her once she exited?
Deputy Vreeland proceeded forward to the middle of the road and placed her into handcuffs. And being as my car was the closest, we brought her to my car, placed her in the back seat of my car.
Once inside, deputies find Doug. He's unresponsive.
I observed just a pair of legs, basically just above the knee down.
Observed the male laying down on the floor, sort of in the middle of the floor. He had a gunshot wound to his right about here, and then another one down by his leg. There was blood under his right leg. He was cool to the touch.
As detectives arrive to the scene, Ashley is whisked away to the Manatee County Sheriff's Office, where she's checked for injuries.
Hold your arms up for me. Did you see anything on her legs that were specifically...
Back of the left knee, just below the kneecap, if you shine a flashlight on it, there is some bruising, and then a bit on her upper right thigh. Side of her upper right thigh.
Up here?
Mm-hmm.
The defense will claim these injuries are a result of Doug's abuse. The prosecution will allege these are scratches from Ashley's cats. But these injury photos won't be the only evidence deputies collect.
Okay. Ashley, I'm Detective Florzinski. I'm with the Manatee County Sheriff's Office Homicide Unit. I know that we haven't talked yet, and we're not going to be taking a statement from you. That's fine. I have a search warrant, okay? And your attorney's here. I'm going to give it a copy to both of you so you guys can read it. But I'm going to actually read it to you first. Do you understand? Okay. I need a yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to answer verbally so that...
Yeah, we are recording.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's fine. You're under a lot of stress. I totally understand that. This is one of the most trying times probably in your life. So if you have questions, ask. If you want to talk to your attorney privately, just tell me. I'll be more than happy to leave the room. I'll turn the recording off. You can say whatever you want to say. But no one can stop this process, just so you know, because it is a search warrant. All right? You can't refuse it. If you do refuse it, there's actually a charge for that. It's called obstruction to a search warrant.
It will be weeks before Ashley is arrested. That comes on November 4th, 2020, when she's formally charged with second-degree murder. 4 years later, in July 2024, she takes the stand in her own trial.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury why you shot Doug.
I was scared to death. I thought he was gonna kill me. There was nowhere to go. I was trapped in my own house. He wouldn't let me leave.
As you sit here today, Ashley, how do you feel about what happened?
Horrible. He's the father of my child. Someday you have to explain it all to her.
On July 30th, 2024, a Florida jury returns a verdict.
We, the jury, finds as follows as to the defendant in this case. The defendant is guilty of manslaughter, a lesser included offense. Did Ashley Benefield actually carry a firearm? Yes. Did Ashley Benefield discharge a firearm? Yes. Did Ashley Benefield, as a result of discharging the firearm, cause death to Douglas Benefield? Yes.
Ashley's sentence is handed down on December 3rd, 2024.
I'm going to sentence you to 20 years in Florida State Prison. That's to be followed by 10 years of probation. The court is going to order as a condition of your probation that you obtain a mental health evaluation at your expense within 60 days of beginning your probation.
A family shattered. Doug's oldest daughter now an orphan. His youngest daughter essentially the same. One parent dead, the other behind bars for the coming decades. No matter whose story you believe, the ending is the same, and it's one that never should have happened. The debate over truth doesn't bring anyone back, and it doesn't erase the damage left behind. This has been Crimes of Passion by Law&Crime. I'm Sierra Gillespie.